Hey there, garden nerds. I'm Christy Wilhelmi from Gardenerd, and I thought I would give you a tour of the winter Gardenerd Test Garden today, because winter in Southern California and other warm winter climates means high production. All the cool weather crops are showcasing like crazy right now. So I thought I'd start with this little monster back here. It's a bit mangy, but the cool thing about this Romanesco that's growing right here is that it's not technically a volunteer, but last year I grew a whole bunch of brassicas, including Romanesco and broccoli and cabbage in this bed. But at the end of the season, I cut it down to the soil level and then didn't mind so much when it all started to regrow. So only the Romanesco did, everything else did not come back, but these guys, I figured, heck, why not? Let them grow, see what happens. And sure enough, every single one of these volunteers, these regrowths, are setting ahead. So we'll be harvesting these soon. We're gonna let them get a little bit bigger and then we'll pick them. But that's something that you can try in your garden. Let's move on to the other part of the garden. The next stop on our tour is the spice garden, or salad-ish accoutrement section. In this garden, I've got arugula growing, some wild arugula, some cilantro, and then a whole bunch of different kinds of spinach, including giant noble spinach, which is honestly, the leaves were as big as my hand, the early ones, but they're doing really well in here. Two kinds of parsley. So we always grow flat leaf Italian parsley and curly parsley because they're great in combination or in different kinds of dishes. And then a lot of dill, because dill in eggs with some chives and a little bit of parsley are amazing, just saying. And then the back row over here by the bees are what is our perennial, semi-perennial patch of green onions. And since I choose a low FODMAP diet most of the time, which only allows you to use green onion tops and not the rest of the onion, and no onions, no garlic. Anyway, I am boring you. I keep a patch of green onions growing year round, and then I just pick off the greens and they keep growing. So it's semi-perennial. It's one of those perennial vegetables that you can grow in your garden in a patch. Just 4 square feet is enough to last the whole season. Let's move on. Now this part of the garden, this is the main part of the garden, and this is where all the action is. This is where all of the annual cool season crops are growing. Here in January, they're just past their peak, and I probably should have harvested some of them a while ago, but I wanted to give you a shot at seeing what's going on here and how we grow biointensively here at the Gardenerd Test Garden. You can see in the back we've got celeriac, and then a row of carrots, and then a whole bunch of radishes. And these radishes are all grown in the square foot gardening method, where it's 16 per square foot. Same with the carrots, and the celeriac are 1 per square foot. So I'm getting a lot of stuff out of here. There's 64 carrots and just as many or a little more radishes. So there's a lot going on. Now let's look at the kale bed. Kale is one of my favorite cool season crops to grow, and I grow at least 10 different varieties. Well, I think it's let me just see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 different varieties are growing here. Some of my favorites are this dazzling blue kale. I really love the frizzy kale. This one is called Cyber Frill. And then my favorites are the Siberian type, because they're not as tough as some of the lacinato type kales, the dinosaur type kales. Those are really great, and for some reason the rats don't seem to eat those, which is weird. So again, these are planted really close together, and if they get covered in powdery mildew, which we get as coastal gardeners, we just tear off those leaves, feed them to the chickens, and move on. The other brassica bed is all broccoli and Romanesco. We've got Thompson, Calabrese, and Rosalind. Rosalind is a beautiful purple-headed broccoli that I just love. Now, you can see most of these have been harvested already, except for this Romanesco here. But the good thing about broccoli, it's not a one and done. Well, Romanesco can be, except what you saw me talk about before at the beginning of this video, but cabbages and cauliflowers, they're pretty much one and done. You grow it, you harvest it, it's over. But with broccoli, once you harvest that head, don't pull the whole plant, because you're going to get side shoots like these little babies right here. And those will keep going for another 3 to 4 weeks. So they pay dividends. Plant your brassicas in your cool season garden and you will enjoy the heck out of them, I promise. Now, let's go over to the salad garden. This is the salad garden. It changes from year to year, but it is pretty standard. I did a whole video on what my salad garden ingredients include, all the seeds that I grow. You can find that in the link. And so I just want to go through this with you because I love to have salads that have different kinds of lettuces and lots of extra goodies in them so that you don't really need to put anything else in them. I mean, it barely needs dressing. It's really good. So I love to grow mosh. That's fun. We have a couple different kinds of mosh growing here. This is volunteer arugula. This is volunteer arugula. And then about 8 different types of lettuces. There are some you can still see that are here. Some have been harvested. And then minutina, which is a new variety I'm trying out this year. This is a funky little rare salad green that tastes like lettuce. And it's really delicious. Anyway, and then the incredibly impressive mustard greens. These are Osaka purple mustard. There's tatsoi. There's tatsoi growing here, and then there's mizuna as well. So 3 different kinds of mustard greens. They add some punch and power to a salad. And then behind this, something that did not do well this year is peas. These are a trial pea from row 7 seeds, and I planted them out. Rats ate most of them, and then what's left though is doing pretty good. And they have a beautiful purple flower, and the peas are supposed to be either shelling or snow, but honestly they're shelling peas because I tried to bite into the pod and it's fibrous as heck. So let's just stick with shelling, shall we? The other really weird thing that's going on in this garden is that you may have noticed this pepper plant. So I've got this is left over from last season. This was my tomato bed last year. So I follow a heavy feeder like tomatoes and peppers with a light feeder like lettuces. But the peppers really didn't do much during the summer, but then as winter went on, I started to see it flowering and I'm like, I'm not taking that out. So now, honest to God, there are 50 plus peppers on this plant, and because of our moderate winter climate, we don't have to worry about frost or anything like that. So I'm leaving these babies on here until summer hits, and then I will harvest them, and I won't have to grow jalapenos for quite some time. So that's a close-up look at what's going on here in the winter Gardenerd Test Garden. There's a bunch of other stuff going on too. We've got asparagus back there we just cut down for the winter. We've got pruning happening on all of our fruit trees, the apple tree and the peach tree. The loquat is full of fruit, but it's not ripe yet. All the orange trees, we're harvesting from those right now, and then we're going to prune those. And of course, tree kale is doing what it does. If you haven't seen our video on tree kale, check it out because it's very, very fun to grow, perennial kale. That's it for this week. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification button to find out when our next video comes online. Share this video with your friends and consider becoming a Patreon subscriber to support all the free stuff we do at Gardenerd. Of course, you'll find tons of information on how to grow all this stuff you saw today on the video in Gardening for Geeks. And of course, check out my new book that comes out in March 2021, Grow Your Own Mini Fruit Garden. Happy gardening.